everyone, Chris Devastation Felix here once again with another video. So the last time we spoke, or you watched my video, we talked about movement and different ways you can practice your movement. Today I want to talk about point of vision or point of view and how movement relates to that in minimizing some errors in your game. So what I mean when I say a POV error is pretty much if you move a certain way that you've left a blind spot in your visual that your opponent could hide in, or you might miss your opponent running by. And we want to minimize those as much as possible when we play because, you know, if I could see my opponent, I'd prefer to see my opponent, that way I know what they're doing. So a few things here. Of course, I've loaded up Dwango 5 map 1 again just because it's a map that I played a lot that I just kind of know a lot of these errors. And of course, this is used when you want to learn a map and play a map a bit better. So one of the first things is why I run through the hallway a specific way. So for example, you could do a turn strafe here and turn around. But you notice how when I do that, I'm actually turning my back to this blue room in here. So there could be someone standing at the doorway, or they could be standing right here, and you probably wouldn't see them. That's why when I run through the hallway, I normally do a switch strafe so I could see in the hallway, and then I flip over because I want to see down this hallway when I get to this point, and then I switch strafe again this way. The idea is I'll do it in fast motion here. So I go this way, I go here, I flip, and then back. And I've actually kept as much in vision as I can. So I get to this point, I can see the blue room, I can see the blue room, I flip. Okay, I can now see down the hallway. I come forward. Notice how at this point I can see the top of the ledge and the entry point and kind of behind this pillar. But I do still have a POV error. My opponent could be hiding in this corner, so you still have to be careful. Let's do that again one more time. Go this way, here, flip, over, and I try to keep as much. And when I come here, you'll see me do this a lot. I actually quickly flip over, because sometimes people will just kind of sit right here and just wait around. So usually when I come down and I come out this way, I do a quick glance and then flip back to what I want to see. So it's about anticipating where your opponents might be, where they could be, and making sure your movement around a map is tailored to a way that you can see the most possible. That doesn't mean I'll never do a turn strafe. For example, if I'm running for my opponent or I know exactly where my opponent is, this would be the fastest way. Because as you turn through, you turn around the corner as much as possible. But that's when I know where my opponent is. If I don't know where they're at, I want to keep as much in vision as possible. Another common one, that I do here, is down this way. Notice if I just switch strafed and went that way, I'll do it again. If I just switch strafe, notice how I didn't see this part here at all. So it's kind of funny. Your opponent could be sitting right here, and you'd literally run right by them. They'd be like, "What?" And they would just shoot you. That's why I do this little weird thing here. I go this way, and I do a switch because it's just easier than doing the turn. See, I want to see this part. I switch, and then I flip so I can see that part, and I come down here. And if I get to this point, I actually have my back turned to the blue room, so you do have to be careful of that point. Once again, it's just like this. See it, flip around, see the other spot, and get down to the edge. Come around here, flip around, that sort of thing. Another common one, at least in this map, is when you get to the top, a lot of people come over here, and they come over here to say, "Oh, is my opponent in that BFG room?" Unfortunately, when you come up this way, all you're looking at here is the wall. Your opponent could be sitting right down here, just like, "Oh, there they are." Bing! So you have to be careful. Sometimes you come up and you just do a little wide turn, look around, okay, nope, they're not there, and then you come over this way. So it's about tailoring your movement in a map to, now that way I didn't even see the blue room, so this way you got to be a bit more careful when you do your switch. Yeah, I always flip around there as well. Yeah, usually this way, flip around and just take a quick peek. Even when you jump out, maybe you want to take a quick peek while you're in the air, because you can't move when you're in the air anyway, so you just kind of go, boop, and you really haven't lost any time. So when you're practicing your movement, also try to think of where my opponents could be in certain situations and which parts of the map you kind of want to have a visual on. And that'll kind of help you decide whether you want to do a turn strafe or a switch strafe, etc. Now, if you're playing a new map you haven't seen before, like I did last night, I played a bunch of duels on Xandronum and maps I either haven't played in 8 years or maps I've never seen before. And as you're playing them, you kind of realize, okay, my opponent could sit here. Maybe that wasn't the best way to move around the map. So I say the first video was about how to practice and refine your movement. This is kind of helps you choose which way you want to move around a map so that you can see as much as possible as you're running around the map. This is Chris Devastation Felix. Hopefully you've learned something from this video.